Welcome back, folks, to It's About Your Paycheck. We are the first step on your financial wellness journey. I'm Brian Escobar, my partner.
Walter William Luckham III.
Yes, sir.
This is It's About Your Paycheck.
Yes, sir. How you doing today, man? What's good?
I'm good.
What
Excited.
are we talking about today, by the way, before we get caught up in jibber jabber
Year-end tips.
for employees? Yes. What should we? Yeah, that's a good one because we, as employees, we have some things to do. Like as a payroll person, I'm always telling you all, the customer, right? You guys are our customers. We're payroll professionals, HR professionals, and everyone out there is our customer. And what we always say is, hey, go do this, go do that. Hey, blah, blah, blah. You have a part in this, right? We as the employee have a part to play in our own information. It's our own data, our W-2, the money, our paycheck. As we continue to have this conversation with colleagues and people, period, in the world, they're really excited for us to do this show. And not only that, California, Assembly Bill 800, they're mandating this type of education in California to school 11th and 12th graders. Go figure. We're on the right track, Walt.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are right on the right track. Yes, sir.
We want to talk about some year-end stuff. Oh, I'm going to start it off, right? I'll do the first 6.
Yeah.
We have 13 things to think about. It's just a list of items that we think that you got to keep in mind as year-end.
Lucky number 13.
Yeah, it's a tip. It's just a list of tips and best practices to consider. For instance, personal information. You want to update your home address and your contact info, right? It's important for, one, it's your W-2, right? If you want your W-2, and depending on, I don't know if it's in here in a different one, I'm sorry, but it made me think of whether you want to go digital or have paper.
Yes.
That if your system has the option, you will find it. If you go now this time of year, if you don't find it, ask your payroll and HR department if they have that capability, because your home address dictates where your W-2 gets mailed.
Yep.
So that's important, right? Contact information. What's up?
And to your point, even if we have the correct data housed in the payroll system, if you elected to receive an electronic version of your W-2 and you did not know that, like, you could be expecting it in the mail.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good call out. Yes. Thank you.
Because in onboarding or doing your new hire process, you click paperless, suppress
paperless. Yes. Go green.
You could have elected that. Yes.
They could have said it a few different ways, but you may, if this is the first year with the company, right? Maybe even, but amazing call out, because we get those calls and we'll get those help tickets in a few months, whereas I don't have my W-2.
Yep.
And internally, so I was about to get on to the wrong side of things, but yes, that you could have clicked that option way back in the day.
I was going to go there too. Yeah.
Yeah. To the payroll professional.
Yeah.
We're always talking to the payroll professional, folks. We are talking to you. It's about you. No payroll professionals. We're talking to the employees. We're talking to the people.
I will say that a good payroll team should notify their locations of the people that have elected to receive the electronic.
Wow, you're raising the bar. Okay, that's fine though. That's for payroll folks. Yeah. They should let you know. But you should go. We're talking about you guys now. We have to go and check it. If you don't have an amazing team that has already told you. But this is where you will find it when you go update your home address. This is why you update it. If you really want to be digital, because in my opinion, it's dangerous to have your W-2 floating out there. I think I'd rather print it out myself and save it down from my company's website. I like the digital portion of it because I think it restricts how much exposure it has. But that's me personal. I'm sure it can be argued. And again, contact information. We're still on number one, folks. We're talking about your phone number, your email address. These are really basic things. You wouldn't believe how hard it is for us to get some of this information from y'all. But think about it like this. You're going to miss out on some key information that you do need, that you will get hurt from. Oh man, I missed it because I don't have my email address updated at work. I don't have my phone number updated at work. Think about this. If you're in northern state, or not even any state where weather is an issue, if sometimes your job is closed, like how are you staying how are you staying up to date with your jobs closing open? If the weather is an issue, this is the way they tell you, hey, the facility's closed today, don't come in. Think about it like that. So you don't want to, I would be mad if I commuted across town and I get there and the facility's closed and I missed the notification because I don't have my email or my phone number updated. I'd be real mad.
Yep.
2, your tax elections, right? So this is that time of year, those uncomfortable things. The W-4 is a pain in the butt. We have a great tool for it. One of our colleagues, that payroll guy, developed some for you all, the customers, for us. So reach out to us if you want. We'll share it. But or look him up, that payroll guy, online, and Google him. And go to his stuff. He has it out there. It'll help you fill out the W-4 and understand its impact on your money financially, right? If you don't have, not everybody can afford a CPA. Not everybody can get good advice.
That payroll guy, the IRS.gov has a calculator
tool,
that you can you can use as well to estimate.
Yes. Your tax elections. This is the time of year you want to, if you're playing around with your taxes to get more money, this is when you want to play it back so that you can pay your taxes. And this is when you want to do that estimator deal and figure out, are you going to get money back or are you going to pay? Because then you may need to save money, right? Okay. Be intentional. It's year end. The number one thing should have been planning. We're just talking through a list, folks. So this is my favorite show. Oh, sorry, payroll people. I'm lying. I'm kidding. I'll edit this. Tax elections is number 2. You want to make sure that you're updating your personal life events, if that's it, because that also impacts things. You want to review your current elections, and you also want to see if there's any potential credits or things that you could take advantage of, right? A lot. Look, they make that tax book burdensome and big for a reason, because there is a lot of savings in there if you can take the time to go through it. Retirement contributions, number 3, as we're talking about things to think about for year end. Retirement contributions, like basically if your 401ks at work, they have limits to how much you can contribute during the year. So you might want to look at it just to see if you've hit your limit. Like maybe you didn't notice, but you stopped contributing to 401k because we all have that bad habit. What's the classic bad habit? Oh, I don't look at my pay stub. I just get paid, right? What's up?
How would they check that? Who should they go see?
If what?
If they notice that their contributions have stopped, or they want to find out what that max contribution is, what that limit is.
So, right. Great questions. Yes. So it's a combination of your HR payroll department, right? To get the fact, hey, what's going on? I noticed my 401k stopped, and hopefully they have a good answer. But to keep them honest, you want to look up IRS.gov, right? They have all the breakdown of what your contribution limits are every year. They publish it every year. So it's very easy information. So you would look at 401k contribution limit. Google that phrase, 401k contribution limit. And
yes, and that works. That should come up, and you should go to Brian's point, the IRS.
Yes.
There might be some other stuff out there that may not explain
a lot of
good and stuff like that. Like they have their own interpretation of it. Go to the IRS.
IRS is the source of truth. They literally dictate the rules on 401k. So yeah, Walt saying everybody reposts it and reprints it and republishes it on their site. IRS is the gospel. IRS is your system of record for these rules. Yeah, so if so again, I can't tell you how many people we talk to that do the same thing. Oh, I don't what pay stub? I don't get a pay stub. Yes, but there is one being generated for every direct deposit that you have.
Mhm.
There is a pay stub. So you would want to look at that as well. Okay. You want to look at your when it comes to retirement contributions, also understand your employer match if they have a match. You want to
Mm.
understand what the employer match is. I've been thinking more recently, like I think folks should get it. I used to be of the mind, oh, I'm not going to use my 401k at work because they don't match. And I think that's an ignorant stance, right? I think it's if you're really serious about having money in retirement and planning for your retirement, you take advantage of that pre-tax benefit from your job because it is a pre-tax benefit. We'll have to circle back on pre-tax benefits because that's probably a whole show, or we talked about it a little bit in another episode.
Yeah, we did.
So it's a pre-tax benefit that you want to take advantage of. And two, it's a good habit. 401k should not be the end all. It is
Mhm.
a tool that you add to the one of the many tools you should have as a retirement strategy. Um,
We'll create a show, and it may not be this verbatim, but the pros and cons of 401k.
oh yeah,
Something
oh
like
definitely, oh yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to, and I think while we're waiting, folks, is that I really want to get like a 401k expert. I'm talking to a few different folks now to see
Mhm.
who's the right person for us. Yeah, because I want to give you guys. I don't want to bring somebody on that wants to sell us something that they have for sale. I
Mhm.
want to bring someone on that genuinely wants to teach us about 401k,
Yeah.
regardless if we're going to buy their product. You know what I mean? So for the people, this is the show for the people. Number 4, year end best practices, year end good tips is your check your if you have a HSA or FSA, which is flexible spending account or a health savings account. If
Mhm.
you have either one of these accounts through your job, if you have them, right, you'll know what they are. But if you don't know what they are, it's in regards to medical insurance. They're accounts that help you with the medical expenses. Okay. You want to check your balances there to make sure because they have this is one of those things that have like your benefit year end and then it reset at the new year. Okay. So you may not know that.
Mhm.
What's up?
No, go ahead.
Good one, right? Yeah, because I'm just thinking about it too. Like, crap, this is actually a really good one. Because if you do have FSA, you usually elect an amount, right? Meaning you choose how much you want come out of your check
Yes.
during your open enrollment for benefits, which usually happens for all companies around now in the next few months. Usually happens in Q4. Some folks do it earlier, but most companies. Open enrollment is a time where you get to choose your benefits again, right? If you're at a company that affords you this, right? So it's one of those deals. So if you're if you pick amounts during this time frame, but those amounts could change every year. So this
Yeah.
is the time that you need to go look at your amounts that you've chosen that coming out of your check every month. Again, if you have FSA, if you have HSA, go and look at your balances to avoid losing money. Use it or lose it. Okay. You don't want to lose it. So this is one of those things where you can lose money. So be mindful.
Man.
Plan for the future. If there's money you lost, that means you got to adjust. If there was not enough money, I remember some years with FSA that I didn't choose the right amount. I didn't
Mhm.
choose enough to come
Yep.
out of my check. And I ended up losing a little bit on that end, like not being able to take advantage of the benefit. And then some years I chose too much. And
Mhm.
then you got to try to use it all up. If not, again, lose money.
Yes.
Okay. So use what you've learned by reviewing these balances to adjust for the next year.
Yep.
Number 5 is performance review and goal setting. Oh, yeah. You know, you want to reflect on what you did for the year. I think this is really what's up.
Yeah, some companies have year-end reviews for their employees, so I
True.
think this is speaking to that,
Okay.
not necessarily just the typical mid-year review. I think this is
Right.
speaking to those companies that have those year-end reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That that's cool. Yeah. If you have a year in review, you gonna it's gonna go down. But I think it's a good opportunity if you're career oriented
Mm,
that you take this time and reflect on your performance throughout the year. Another tip that I have is you should do that all year long. You should be tracking those good things, your performance that you've done all year long. Track it, type it somewhere, write it in a book somewhere because when it's good for I don't think we do that enough for ourselves to keep our yo, we're good at this. Look at what I've done. I had a review
uh,
one year, annual review year end. And my boss said, "You had a good year. You didn't have a great year." And I was like, "The hell? I just implemented something by myself.
mm,
What do you mean? How could that not be a great year?"
yeah,
But I
yeah,
wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have I when she said that or he said that, I should have said, I was just like, I should have been, wait a minute. What do you consider good or great? Because this is what I did,
mm, yes. That's a great call out, Brian,
right?
because you should have it's we encourage you as an employee to do exactly what Brian said. Take your own notes, record your own accolades, your own
Yeah.
accomplishments throughout the year,
Yeah.
because the review that you get may not prompt you to do that or mention those things like,
That's
hey,
right.
this year I completed, this year I did, this year I
Yeah.
did that. You're waiting on somebody else's feedback
Yes.
of you. Oh,
Yes.
just like Brian said, like his former boss or whoever gave him that review, like, "It was alright. You did alright this year.
You was I. Yeah, it's basically
You
what
did
they
good.
said. You was I.
You did good. You did
You was
good."
I. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
guess what? That impacted my bonus that year,
See?
and I didn't speak up.
See?
I
Mhm.
didn't speak up. So if again, because this is really if you have professional goals and you wanna build, if depending on where you are in your career, if you're still growing in your career, you I think it's important for us to I haven't started doing it yet, so I'm still trying to, "Hey, don't take it, I'm preaching around." Nope. I haven't started doing this piece yet for myself either. Not in any intentional way. I try to update my resume when I think of it, but even that is people don't do it until they need their resume. Then they're scrambling to think about all the things that you've done in the past, whoever, how long, right? I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but I think this is worth talking about.
Absolutely.
We're talking about
Absolutely.
us as employees, and this is
What
a platform, right?
what did we say in one of those old shows out there? I think it was on the main show, It's About Payroll. We were talking to the payroll professionals, but this goes for you as an employee, right? Because they're
Yes.
employees too.
For us, yeah.
We're payroll professionals, we're employees, right? You are your own brand.
Yes. Yes. Thank
You
you for
are
saying
your
that.
own
That's exactly right.
brand.
Yes.
So if you are your own brand, think about that. When you think about from a consumer standpoint, from a retail standpoint, like
Yes.
those brands put themselves out there. They
That's right.
have analytics and all this
They
stuff
don't
that they
they don't
track.
forget to tell us about themselves and
No,
how
they don't.
great they are.
Exactly. My point.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
You
Such a
need to know
great
that
call
you're your
out,
own
bro.
brand, right?
Yes. Yes. Thank you for that. That is
Mhm.
exactly right. And I'll leave you with number 6, training and development, because if you do believe in yourself and you have been ticking and tying all year long, documenting your wins, celebrating your wins all year long, guess what? You
Yeah.
need to learn new stuff too, right? Identify your skill gaps. Like right now, again, continuing on this self-reflection from your performance and goal setting. Think about, all right, how good am I at my job? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Is this what I want to do still? Is
Mhm.
this what I want to do still? I made a jump recently to HR side, although it's the flip side of the same coin, like we talk about it. it's but I still have stuff I have trained now I gotta learn new stuff now. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it puts me in an uncomfortable place because I'm like, "Oh, man, I gotta now have to develop myself."
Yeah.
You wanna identify where if you have any skill gaps, if there's things you need to learn and plan for some training, get some classes, get some webinar. Hopefully, you have a good support system, like your bosses and your company supports continuing education so that when you're
Mhm.
in these new situations, you have time to grow into it and learn new things. And this will it'll help you develop new opportunities, develop new skill sets. You never know what doors you open when you invest in yourself. Don't
Invest
be
in your
afraid.
brand.
Yes, yes, don't invest in your brand. Don't be afraid to invest in your brand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another part of training and development is which is very if cool. If you're a social person, professional memberships are cool because it's social or not, but one of the social benefits of it is like they'll have meetups and network events. You could go out. I'm going out soon to a network event at night, so I'm looking forward to that. It's like at a steakhouse or whatever, and it's cool stuff. You have chapter meetings and things like that.
Yep. Yep.
Look, even and if you're not a social person, and it's good for just to have on your resume, hey, you're part of this chapter or that member to that professional organization. Just add it to the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Imma pass off the rest to my partner
All
to do
right.
the last 7.
I got 7 through 13. All right.
Yes, sir.
So number 7, time off and vacation planning.
Yes.
Unused vacation days, right?
Yeah,
Check your remaining vacation
right,
PTO balance and plan to use them before the end of the year because a lot of companies they may have some carryover, but
right.
or maybe not. And so depending on what your company's policies are, you want
Mhm,
to make sure you almost similar to what Brian said about the HSA, right? Use it or lose it.
mhm.
And
Yes,
like
that's what I was just thinking. Yep.
yeah, and so you want to make sure that you're aware of any carryover policies. You want to make sure that if your company has a payout policy with PTO or sellback policy, you want to make sure that you know about that because sometimes they may have it
Oh,
in
yeah.
they may have it in the handbook, but
Ooh, that's right.
because you neglected to read all the handbook,
Imagine.
you're missing out on that stuff.
Oh my god.
And, or if they have a form in place that you need to fill out to sell back some of those things, because I work for companies that you can sell back your PTO balance, but you'll get half
Me
of it,
yeah, me too.
right? You get half of it. And
Yep.
so you need to understand and plan for those things. If your company doesn't allow for a payout policy or anything like that, use your time.
Yeah.
Use
Yes,
your time.
yes, be mindful of your time. That's another thing that you really need to do all year long
Mhm.
and request your days off. Plan
Yeah.
in advance as much as you
Yes.
can.
Your employer should encourage you to
Yes.
take time off
Yes.
to recharge, to get revitalized, to
Yeah.
come back with that new fresh energy so you can do your
Yes.
best. They should this it's been for too long, corporations in America have used the burnout model. Well, keep working until you can't no more.
They don't care.
Yep.
Some don't care because they'll you right. I'll have you replaced in a few weeks. Like
You're just
you know.
literally a boss told me you're just a butt in the seat. Yeah.
See, and I'm sorry for the sidebar here, but vacation it got me thinking about a lot of things. Right, like vacation. Don't be afraid to. You should be in an environment that you could healthily request days off, vacation. That it shouldn't be a problem. I like. We were talking about bonuses earlier. I read once as a benefit, a company, they encouraged them, they would give them a budget to go on vacation.
Nice.
Yes. So I like that kind of model. And you could, if you're building a new company, me and Walt building a new company. So we have the luxury of building in these new things from the ground up. It's very hard to do this when your company is 10,000 people and you're a very Fortune 500. It's hard to make these pivots sometimes. And it costs so much because now you have to apply it to everybody. But
Mhm.
I like the idea of getting build it into the compensation already that there's like a few $1,000s every year, pool, bonus, something. And it could be like, and I think this company allowed them to expense a bunch of a certain amount for their vacation. So imagine
Mhm.
that, right? You spend a few $1,000s on vacation, but your company is to let you come back and let you expense the airfare and the hotel and
Mhm.
right and the food. Like, how cool would that be? I'm
Oh, that'd
getting
be
money
that'd be
back because I
amazing.
went on vacation.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Because what made me think about it is when you said that, hey, you need to refresh, you need to like companies should know that is valuable for your people to have that experience of rest and recharge.
If
Sorry for
if
the side.
no, if you are in your best state mentally, physically, emotionally,
Yes.
if you are in a great state, that's better for the employer.
But yeah, exactly,
Way better for the employer because
exactly.
focused, you're
Yep,
more engaged,
yep.
and there's a downstream impact for that for the
Yes,
employer and for your
yes.
career as well, right?
Absolutely,
Great call out
absolutely.
on that. That perfect segue about your bonus stuff. Going into
Oh,
number 8,
there you
you're
go.
in bonus planning. Understand your bonus structure. Know how your year-end bonus is calculated, plan for the financial impact, and allocate funds wisely. So some of you may not know there is a supplemental bonus tax rate out there that
Yeah.
you have to
Yes,
pay on bonuses. And so if you
yes.
get your bonus, you're like, hey, how come my federal taxes so much on my bonus
Or
check?
not enough, depending on how you pay taxes, it could be not
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, it could be not enough. So like how come like my taxes are what they are on my bonus and it's different, it's a different rate than what's on my
Mhm,
regular check. You want
mhm.
to know that. The IRS will let you know because again, the IRS is the barometer of all things
Yeah.
pay, taxes and stuff. So IRS has stuff on bonuses and stuff like that. But your employer or your payroll department should also have some language or some knowledge about what those bonus tax rates are for you. So you wanna make sure that you get proper planning. What's up, bro?
And just to call it out, folks, because then you might be like, "Why are they doing that? That's a pain in the ass. I hate that." It's like somebody's listening and they're like, "Oh, I hate that shit. Every year they do that to me." Blah, blah. We do it, folks, and I don't know, whatever. IRS allows us to do it because of we don't know everyone's tax situation.
Mhm,
So the IRS says, "Look, because you don't know, we're gonna let you just do a flat supplemental pay rate. It's
mhm,
not your regular earnings." So we
mhm,
don't have to use the tax election that we you normally do for our W-4, for our W-2.
mhm.
We don't have to use that because it's not regular earnings. It's not hours work, blah, blah, blah. So because of that, they allow us to do this supplemental rate. Did you want to share
Yeah.
something? Well,
No, that's it. Like,
okay.
you were right. I just posted something else on the notes here, basically saying what you were saying,
Okay,
that
okay.
it's
Cool,
out
cool.
it's in addition to your normal salary, normal
Right.
earnings. Yeah, so that's why they're taxing that because it's considered a supplemental
Yeah.
income, supplemental
It's
wages, right?
and your job likes it because we don't have to deal with the arguments after the fact.
Yes.
Everybody if we didn't do it like this, "Oh,
Mhm.
you did it against my tax rate. This is gonna mess up my taxes," and there's all kinda implications, and then all of a sudden, everybody is a CPA and knows it, so it just keeps it uniform.
Yes.
It gives your team, your payroll team, the ability to say, "Hey, we use the IRS supplemental tax rate." That's
Oh,
it.
so
They get to
and
default and kinda
yes.
easy type of strategy.
So just to let you know what some of the examples are of supplemental income, just real quick, and before I move on, that can be passive rental income,
Ooh,
bonuses that we're talking about, extra
bonuses.
commissions,
Heck,
um,
okay.
or in a broad sense, even some side income. So you say you do Uber in the
Yep,
afternoon,
yep,
like that, they may consider that supplemental income for you. So it's something to consider, right?
yeah.
So each type of
Good call out.
supplemental income is subject to different tax treatments. So you want to know how your supplemental income is
I
taxed.
I like what you put here. Supplemental income is generally money you earned outside of your regular paycheck.
Yes.
Pretty straightforward. Keeping word generally. It's not,
Yes.
you said, no, all this is legalese stuff. So just bear with us, folks. Just
Yes.
a
Yes. And so we're just giving you a broad sense
broad
of
stroke. Yep.
for your specific scenario. You want to go and check it out and do the research for
Yeah.
your scenario because my and
Yes.
Brian's scenario is different.
It's different. It's going to be different. Yes, please don't compare this to I think that should be in here too. Don't compare to your coworker what your year-end thing is. And you know what? I'm sorry. I got to call this out too. I got to call out because I keep thinking about pay transparency and Walt is quick to Brian, pay transparency. You can't say that. And I'm like,
No,
no, it's not that. It's just like pay transparency is for our company, first of all. That's for them when they post a job that they have to put the range of what that job is paying. Pay transparency does not mean that you get to talk to your coworker about your pay. That's not what pay transparency is.
yes, it's not. It's not. But what I'm saying is that we have to be careful with that or what we say because we don't want to make it seem like we're trying to discourage
We're
people
not.
from unionizing. And that's not what Brian is
Oh
saying.
gosh,
Right?
no.
Brian is not saying he's not saying,
Oh,
oh,
we
don't
gotta
talk to
put
your
disclaimers in. Yeah, we
yes.
gotta put disclaimers
That's
in.
not what he's saying. Okay.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm all for pay transparency the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Keep
So
that
what
in mind.
so correct me if I'm wrong. What you mean by this is you and I make the same rate, Brian,
Yep,
right? You have a different scenario. You have depending
absolutely.
on your
Yeah, I
you
got
have tax
kids.
elections.
Yep.
I don't have that. So I can't be like, hey, me and
Oh,
Brian, we're paid the same rate.
mm, how come?
Why? How come Walt's check is more net pay is more than
Yep,
mine?
yep.
That's what the difference may be.
I'm
So
paying family rate for insurance. That may come out of
mhm,
my check, and that's not right now. That's none of his business. That's what I have to pay, right? And that's
mhm,
why our rate. But I could be. Wait a minute. Why? How come he's
yes,
getting more? I don't know
yes.
what he not is coming out of his check. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you've ever seen it, Brian, but I've had employees reach out to me and I've had twins, a set of twins reach out and say,
It's
hey, my sister
hilarious.
and I make the same thing. Your sister has a dependent on her taxes.
Yep.
Your sister has dependents on her insurance. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that person, I have insurance too, but yeah,
You guys.
she's
Mhm.
single and she has
Yep.
dependents, right?
Family.
She
There
has
you go. Yeah.
beneficiaries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's so many different nuances to pay.
Yes.
You want to
Yes.
identify the stuff for your own.
Yeah.
Now, again, we're not trying to discourage any unionizing or anything like that. You got to do what
Right.
you got to do at your work environment. But we're saying from a general standpoint, you want
These
to be
opinions do
careful
not
about
support or
doing
deny anything.
that.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
There you go. There you go. All right. Number nine, health insurance and benefits. So you spoke to this a little bit. Open enrollment.
Open enrollment, yes.
Participate actively in open enrollment to
Yep.
select the best health insurance and benefits for the next
Ooh,
year. And wellness programs. Explore wellness
this is
programs.
yes, that's
There might
important.
be
I
a
like that
what
one
was
better.
that? What was that? EAP?
Yeah. Employee assistance programs, yes.
Yes. Like
Yes.
explore those wellness programs offered by your employer. And see, you may not know your employer offers an EAP or
That's
wellness
right.
program.
That's right. Even if they don't have insurance, those are pretty cheap or free to have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
reach out because it could
yeah.
there's a lot of help that folks don't realize that's for free.
Mhm.
Something here that popped for open enrollment that I bet is a thing that's confusing with our customers, with you all. Active enrollment versus not an active enrollment, passive enrollment, they call it. What the
Yes.
heck is that? That's an open enrollment. I didn't learn it until I started working on the HR side. I'm just learning things too, folks. But active and an active versus a passive means active is like it forces you to select everything that you selected or not select on your
Mhm.
insurance, right? Let's say you have medical, you have dental, you have vision, you have life, you have blah, you have everything, right?
Mhm.
401k, everything, FSA, just all the good, all the bells and whistles, all the pre-tax deductions. Take advantage
Mhm.
of pre-tax deductions, folks. If you have all those things, a passive open enrollment will just enroll you right back in, right? An active enrollment, if they force an active enrollment, you have to go reconfirm everything.
So one of the notes says here for the passive part is
Mhm.
that it says that, so this is a key point. So they say it happens all the time where
Yep,
employers
that's right.
switch benefit providers,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
As insurances.
Yep.
So even if they do that with the passive enrollment,
Mhm.
they will auto mitigate
Yep.
you to
Into whatever.
similar options.
Yes, yes.
So, oh, this is similar. Then we move into this one, and
Mhm.
from blue this to gold
Yep.
this.
Because it
Yeah,
matches a little
yeah, because it's similar.
similar, keyword similar. So, and I think the call out here is like what Walt said, participate actively in open enrollment. So even if it's going to be the same, go in and just look
Yes.
at your things. Make sure that your gold plan didn't get. And actually did that one year at work, and it happened. We had to do that. We just pushed everybody, and it didn't work out for everybody properly. Go be an active, look and review, make sure everything is good. And you never, oh, another reason, you never know when your company's offering new benefits that they didn't offer in the past. And you can go in, oh, wow, I didn't know they had this. I want this now. Right.
Yeah.
So things like that. And I know, guys, it seems, oh, I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. You shouldn't. You should have,
Are your brand.
yes, got to,
Like
yes,
this is all a part of that.
it's all a part of it. That's right.
Right. If you think about that, like this is you protecting your brand,
Yep.
you having as much information, getting as much knowledge as possible. This
Yep.
is all a part of that, man.
Absolutely. I love that, man. That's a great call out.
Number 10, legal and compliance. So basically, review your company policies, familiarize yourself with any changes in the company policies, handbooks, compliance with, that are relevant with laws and regulations, ethics and conduct, refresh your understanding of the company's code of conduct and ethical guides. So basically, you can find all this in your employee handbook,
Ooh, I
right?
got a call out for handbook too.
Go ahead.
It's more of a okay. It's a story. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
You said handbook made me think. I look okay. How can I say this? No, nobody reads the handbook. All right, you glance through at best.
Mhm.
Exactly. But I was watching, gosh, Draft Day with Kevin Costner
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
seen it, right? I know you seen it. We were
Yes.
sports buffs,
Yeah.
so definitely a movie we've seen. But anywho, they, they, there's a scenario in there where they talk about recruiting a player, and one of the things that they use to judge these players is the answer to the question, did you read the playbook we sent you? Right? They
Mhm.
mail the playbook to all their draft picks. So I'm sorry, folks. Draft Day is a football movie, NFL football movie, and they take you through a day of, oh wow, a day of what the NFL draft looks like and the behind the scenes things. Da, 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 da. So anyway, they talk about there's a scene where they're talking about how they vet their candidates and how they judge them. And they say, oh, we send a playbook to all the top candidates we're considering for the draft in advance. And then we call them and say, hey, have you read the draft book, the playbook? And based on their answer and then their follow-up answers, we know what type of character they have. Now, what they did in the playbooks is they taped $100 bill at the end of every playbook that they sent out. So when they ask the question, have you read the playbook?
Mhm.
And they judge them on whether yes, oh yes, heck yeah, I did. Thanks for that $100. Or they say yes, but then they don't comment on the money, and then they follow up and say, hey, what about the $100 at the end? Oh yeah. So now they judge you twice because do you come clean and say, what? Oh, I didn't read it. Dang, I'm sorry. Or they double down. Oh, yeah. Oh, $100. Oh, yeah. No, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Now they using that as a character. But my point is, as corny as it may sound, there's $100 in that employee handbook for you. It may not be taped there literally, but there is, I promise you, something in there that's worth that $100 that you need to know that will impact your career, your time at that job.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
go ahead,
Well said.
share what
No,
you
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Walt shared some stats here. An estimated 60% of employees avoid reading their company avoid. Come on, 60%. According to the survey, 50%, 57% of employers also found it challenging to train managers so that they could enforce reading the handbook. That it's
So
better
like,
now. I wonder if this is a little outdated, but it's better now. It is challenging, but
I
what are
mean,
you gonna say?
oh, I got this stat from something that was an article from last year.
Recent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about that. We're saying over half, more than half of employees don't read the
Avoid
handbook,
reading it.
avoid reading the handbook. So it's just like you may just sign it. Okay, hey, you sign the acknowledgement.
Yes.
Like,
Yep. All the time. Click,
okay. Yeah.
accept all. Click, click.
Yeah, and then over half of almost 60% of employers on the opposite side have issues getting their managers to say, "Hey, go read," telling their employees to go read or
The handbook.
enforce the
Yeah.
handbook, right? So it's interesting, right? So, which is why we're telling you, you should take the initiative
Yeah.
at yourself, your
Yeah.
own brand again,
Yep.
to go
That's right.
read and educate
Yeah.
yourself. Like I said, that
Yep.
$100 that's in there in
It's in
that
there. I
handbook,
promise you.
go read it.
You just gotta read the
Go read
handbook. It's in there. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Number 11, we're almost done. Number 11, networking and relationship building. Connect with your colleagues at their holiday gatherings and events.
Yes.
Attend holiday gatherings and events to build relationships.
Try, yeah.
Express appreciation to colleagues who have supported you. So, this is fostering a good work environment with your colleagues, right? As much as you can, possibly. Like there might be some people that you just don't mesh with from a personality stage because it happens, right? We're going to have people that have different personalities, different viewpoints, but you want to make sure that you still connect in a professional way, at least, and show them that, hey, even though you are the way that you are, I appreciate you. Don't say that, but I appreciate you. Don't say, hey, even though you are the weirdo, like just tell them, hey, I appreciate you, all your efforts and stuff like that, and keeping me on my toes. Something like that.
Oh,
Like,
it's hilarious.
yeah, All right. So number
Oh, I'm
12,
so sorry.
personal development.
Yo,
Reflect
funny,
and
bro.
plan. Reflect and plan. Reflect on your personal achievements and areas for growth. Set personal development goals for the coming year. This is going back to what Brian shared earlier when he was going, like he said that he had a boss that told him, hey, you did all right for the year.
He was
But because Brian didn't in that scenario, because Brian didn't prepare himself going into
I
that
didn't have the
review,
documentation.
like he didn't have that reflect, he didn't plan on those things.
Yep.
He set himself up to get that and to really not come back and rebut and say like, hey,
Yep.
like, hey, I did really good. I think I should get my full bonus
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why. Boom, boom,
On the
boom, boom, boom.
contrary,
Yeah.
here's what
For
I
some
did.
for some time
For
now.
some
I've been
time now,
yes.
I've been noticing.
Yes. All right. And then the last part is document and save important information. Again, this is all year-end tips that we're giving you. And
Yes.
like this is stuff that you don't necessarily have to do just year-end either. You can do this throughout
All the
the
time.
year, all the time.
All the
Brian
time.
said earlier. So number one, save those pay stubs and W-2 forms. Your ADP, not ADP, your payroll
Or payroll
provider
provider, yeah.
could have a solution where you can just go online or go into the app and get all those forms and stuff like that. Even if you're a terminated employee, you should still be able to go into ADP with your access and still be able to get those stubs.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying ADP, keep going into your system and your payroll system and get those information that you need, even if you were termed last year or a couple of months ago, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go to pull that. And if you're able to pull it, save your own copy down for your own
Yes.
record. You know what I'm saying?
Encrypt, yeah. Have a safe
Encrypt it.
place
Yes.
to keep things.
Number 2 of number 13 Here, B, receipts and expense documentation. It's important to keep your receipts. We're not talking about receipts like Deion Sanders says, "Well, I keep my receipts when people talk trash about me." We're talking about actual
Is
receipts.
that
You
funny?
know what I'm saying? Keep
Yeah,
your
yeah,
receipts for
documentation. Yes.
documentation for any if you have your own business, keep your business related expenses for potential tax deductions. Like you can write stuff off as an employee. This say you are fully remote, right? And you have to pay a cable bill or internet bill in order for you to be able to do your job at home. You might be able to write that off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, so keep those expenses in mind, keep your receipts is very important. So by following all these tips that we gave you, these 13 tips and additional ones that we gave you, employees can you as an employee can ensure a smooth transition into the new year, both professionally and personally. And you can always consult with your HR tax professionals for specific advice tailored to your individual circumstances.
Yeah.
Anything else you
Absolutely.
want to add before we shut it down?
Yeah. A couple of random thoughts here. It says we were saying, hey, go out, network, relationship building, go out and connect with colleagues if you
Mhm,
can, right? We want to be mindful of folks that have social anxiety and things like that. If you're
mhm.
that person, maybe you want to call your EAP to get some help and talk about some options there. I'm not sure what that person does. The ones that have social anxiety that should you do you mind sharing? Because I remember
Sure.
that you
So for me, I won't get into the story of what happened. Was in the military and experienced a certain event that happened with me. It impacted me to the point where it created a lot of social anxiety. Like I didn't
I
understand what was going on with me. And I would enter a room and there would be a lot of people in the room and I would just start sweating,
oh wow.
like and be really in the and I would have to wait. So let's say we had a team lunch, our corporate lunch. There were too many people in there. I would wait until everybody almost cleared out, and then I would go get my food
Mm,
because I was just so anxious and I didn't understand why. So the thing that helped me
there we go.
was one to identify the root cause of it,
Okay.
and and I was able to do that through a combination of reflecting and getting some therapy for myself.
Okay.
People like to shy away, especially for me, especially in communities of color. I feel like people like to shy away sometimes from self-care and therapy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's this thing called exposure therapy, and you may have to do it in micro doses, right? You may have to just go out and interact with people
Oh,
and get yourself that exposure if you can, if you're able to. Sometimes for some people, it's really crippling and they don't leave the house. They
yeah.
keep all the blinds
Well, that's
closed,
what I thought
curtains
about in
closed.
this. Oh, go out
Yeah,
and network, build, connect with colleagues. That might be hard for a lot of people or some
it is.
people
It
or
is.
whatever. Just
But
wanted to give those folks like, hey guys, there's options too, and maybe it's just sending an email to, hey, thinking about
yeah,
you these holidays. Have a great
yes,
time. Sending my
yes.
love. Like, oh wow, I would like that. I
Okay.
that's
Okay.
thoughtful to me. I
Yep.
would be fine. Texts, the calls.
Yeah. Be careful with the group text. You want to be careful with the
Oh
instant.
gosh, that's a whole nother. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of unofficial. I say Walt's loud because I say it all the time. I am not a fan of these WhatsApp groups that develop from work.
Mhm.
Not a fan at all. That's not official. They're very unofficial, and they get it's a breeding ground of
Unless
nonsense.
unless you're on a work device, right? Because okay.
No, but still can't unless what? Even more so, don't be on a WhatsApp unless your company has an official way to do these things. Those
Mhm.
groups are dangerous, right? And I'm not saying dangerous like life threatening danger. It's danger the drama, the BS that happens, and people who leave the
Okay.
company. There's no way to regulate it. It's just horrible. I'm sorry, man. I'm getting off topic, Brian.
Another show.
Another show. That's another show. Yeah, I'm not a fan, guys. I'm not a fan of the WhatsApp things. Mm, Networking, personal development. Yep. Document,
So,
save. Yep. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I think that was it. I
thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that up. And I think that
sorry to sidebar.
no, I think people don't really take that into account. And I think where working remote has helped, I think that may have helped those people who have those social anxiety issues, right? Or the social anxiety struggles, it may be easier for them to interact with their coworkers because they're not in office. They're not in the same
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
So for some people, this is the best for them.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the best. Of the, oh, I'm at home. I don't have to worry about anybody. I can still talk to them and be fine and not have
Yeah.
that
Oh,
pressure.
you could do a Zoom. Yeah, you could do a Zoom
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
That's a way to, yeah, I'm getting off the thing, but I'm like, yeah. So there are options. There's ways to be inclusive there. But no, that was cool. I love the little sidebars we had along the way.
Yeah.
Little cool information that we share. Oh, that's the other one I was gonna say for documentation, the year end thing. This is a personal one that I do. I don't. I guess it falls in documentation. Oh, receipts. Keep receipts. I do keep receipts, and I'm trying to pay my kids to organize it for me, and they won't do it. My son did it once, and he's like, because it is a pain. It's like a horrible job. So yeah, and yes, I'm thinking about a scanner and those cool scanners where I'm obsessive about the receipts and stuff. Don't
Mhm.
judge me. But oh, the tip was like what I also do is download any transactions that I have, bank transactions or debit card, credit card, any things like that.
Mhm.
All your financial transactions, you should get a grip, like, or get them all into one place. Ideally, you know how to do like a spreadsheet, and it's great to create your own little view of what you spent in the year, right? Because again, this is about your paycheck, your first step in your financial wellness journey. Budgeting is definitely a part of that.
Yeah.
Tracking, budgeting is forward. Tracking is backward. You need to do the tracking to figure out what the budget is going to be. You don't want to create. Sidebar, but it all ties in. You don't want to create like a budget of, oh, I'm only going to spend X amount for food every month. But it may not be realistic. You may spend more than that in a month. And what's more realistic is the tracking of it. And then you cut it down from there. Well,
Yes. To your point about the budget piece, right?
mhm.
There's a stat out there. I think we read it in one of the shows. Or we discussed it in one of our
Yeah, yeah.
side conversations. It costs more now due to inflation. It costs more now to have the same standard of living
Yes.
that you were used to just several years ago before
Year
the
ago,
pandemic.
too. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
like to your
That's a
point, I
great
just want
call out.
talked about
Yes.
the budget piece. Just remember, you may have to spend that on food.
Yeah.
May not have no choice
Yeah.
because of inflation.
Yeah. And you don't realize if you're not doing the tracking to see what you've been
Mhm.
spending for the past 3 months, year, I would just go, you want the whole year, right?
Mhm.
If you and you do different things for different time periods for different reasons. So you go back the
Yeah,
whole year to see what you spent on an annual. And then you
yeah,
divide that by 12 because that's what you're probably spending. That's what you're averaging out.
yeah,
Y-
yeah.
If you
Great
if
call
you
out, man.
yes, yes. And if you want to just see like what to your point about to Walt's point about rates and inflation, just look at the like last 3 months, last month of what those rates were, because that fluctuates so much. The beginning of the year prices, yesterday's prices are not today's prices.
Yes,
So
yeah,
be
yeah, man.
yeah, the tracking of it all, the details of it all gives you so much information. And it could be overwhelming, but these things are so important. Again, if you are getting on this financial wellness journey with us, that it's necessary and it's helpful, man. I'm telling you, it's help. And I said it in another show. Me and in my household, we cut out coffee because one year I did the tracking when I first started doing it. We
Three
realized
thousand,
that
$4,000.
$3,000-$4,000 on Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts.
yeah. That was the budgeting episode. The budgeting, those episodes that
Yes,
we did. Yep.
yes. So we cut that out. Yo, we saved
Mhm.
that money. What is that? What is that a month? Two,
What?
two, three, three. Let's go $4,000 divided by 12.
That's over 300.
$300 a month. Think about
Mhm,
that. You can go
mhm.
on vacation for that, depending on the size of your family. So little things. And now,
300, 333, 33, 33.
dang, see? It's just little steps, folks. If
Mhm.
you don't do the tracking, you can't find the things that you're willing to give up or not.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
do the
yeah,
tracking to set the budget, and then
yeah.
you do the tracking to build the budget. And that's where the documentation part comes in. And it just came to mind that, yeah, that's one of the things I do at the end of the year. I just get all the financial, everything we spent during the year.
Yep.
And it's uncomfortable. My family doesn't like it. My daughter got really mad the first time I did it for her because it was the first year she worked and I had access to her financials. And why are you doing that? She was like, why are you doing this and showing me this? And I was like, because can you do it?
Trying
And she's
trying to set you up for success.
trying to, exactly. And hers was a little straightforward, right? It was the first year working, expenses are not every, then, but share with my wife, and that's what's like, that's you, this you, this you.
Yep. You should do it, man. It's good practice to do.
It's good. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it lighthearted. Yeah. So Walt was like, wrap this up, bro. I'm hungry.
No,
Um,
no, no, no. Oh, I am hungry, but
oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I'm talking about
practice,
Walt about
man.
to get hangry on us, so we want to let
Uh,
Walt go. But yeah, folks, I would just want to share that little bit of, like, personally, it's a really great exercise. I love data and how I like to let it help me make decisions, not
yeah,
drive it
yeah.
100%.
Brian has a nickname at work. He's called Data Daddy.
Yo,
So
you
he's like,
hilarious. It's not my nickname at work. It's not. I got called a good data janitor once.
yeah,
That I like.
uh,
Data
yeah,
junkie,
DJ, a DJ.
data DJ, data janitor. Oh, I got the headphones too. What? Wait,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Where?
DJ
Where?
BS go.
There
Mhm.
you go. Or BS. Anyway.
That's you. You said that. All right, folks, man. It's a great show. Thank you for checking us out. Go check us out on it'saboutyourpaycheck.com. If you're a payroll professional and you like this show, but you want something more geared towards the payroll profession, go check out it's about payroll.io for more information. Great things coming. Happy holidays to you.
Yep.
And we love you and
We
we'll
love
be in
you.
touch.
Peace.